Who is Dexter?
Why is LaGuerta miserable to Deb?
And who is the ice truck killer?
All this and more on Gory Story Time.
Warning. Gory Story Time is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Story Time. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and this quickly going to answer those questions from before. Your friendly neighborhood serial killer. She's kind of a bitch. And spoiler for this 16-year-old show, but he's Dexter's brother.
Biney.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, we're not reviewing a movie this week.
Nope.
We're reviewing the first season of Dexter because we have been talking since the dawn of this show about doing horror TV shows that we review as well.
And we love the horror genre. I love horror books, but can't get them to read, so we won't ever get around to that.
No.
But thought that the first season of 4 different horror series we would do. And there's a lot to choose from, so I bet you can't guess which ones we're going to do. I can promise you that, because
I didn't know until today, some of them.
I mean, we knew this one.
Right.
But anyway, basic premise. Dexter was found by his adopted father, who was a police officer, at the scene of a murder, sitting there for days in his own mother's blood. He gets messed up in the head by that, and it turns him into someone that tortures animals and all the things that
lead to being a serial killer.
I mean, they really do. And his dad, as a cop, saw this coming and got him to focus on only taking out people that got away with murder.
Right.
That's his specific, and taught him how to not get caught. And then he's now, as an adult, works as a blood splatter analyst for the Miami Police Department. And that way he can be around to hear when someone gets off on a technicality or whatever.
Exactly.
And he can help cover up if there's any crime scenes that he was involved in.
That would help.
Yeah. So he's a good guy serial killer.
Yes.
That's the premise.
I mean, that is the
They have you
premise.
rooting for a serial killer not to get caught. Kind of like The Sopranos gets you rooting for
the mob to
boss
get away with everything.
Yep. Bad Cops on
The Shield.
The Shield. There's a bunch of shows like that.
There are.
I mean, Breaking Bad.
I mean, yeah.
Like
a meth cook.
It's a very common theme now to have you root for the bad guy. But they always show something where they show a little humanity, which is weird because this guy, his thing is he doesn't have it. He doesn't feel.
See, that's just an achievement he has yet to overcome.
Yeah, well. All right. So that's the basic premise.
Yes, it is.
Anything I missed for that, you think?
I don't believe so.
Oh, and he works with his sister, Deb, and his parents are
Dead.
His adopted parents.
And his biological parents.
Wow. His father dies later on. But anyway, all right, why don't we roll the trailer so for those who haven't seen it, you can see what we're talking about.
I found the grave, son.
That dog was a noisy little creep, Dad. He was barking all night and Mom couldn't sleep and she's very, very sick and that lousy dog was yapping at every leaf that blew down the sidewalk.
There were a lot of bones in there, Dexter. And not just buddies.
Come on,
There are people out there who do really bad things. I won't be able to stop you from being who you are. Sooner or later, you'll need to do it. It's not about vengeance. It's not about retaliation. It's about something deep inside.
Is that why I have these urges?
That's right.
They're always telling me to fit in, and I'm just trying to be part of the team.
Just remember the lessons.
They deserve it.
I see their pain. I just can't feel their pain.
All right. So, before we get into the behind the scenes, or very specifically related to this one, the meat and
Beef
beef,
of the show, yes.
why don't we tell the folks why we're really here? I do it usually. You tell them. Why are we really here?
Why we're really here
Yeah.
is because
Is it our love of horror?
it's not our love of horror.
Right.
Yes, we do love horror, but that is not why we're here. We do this for the money.
We do. See, because this is such a popular show with tens of views, we have
Maybe even 11s.
we have Brinks trucks full of cash that get backed up to our house just to get us to promote their products. All these big corporations.
I mean, just the amount of work we have to do to swim out of our home filled with cash.
Yeah. It's like Scrooge McDuck in his bank vault, only not coins, because you can't swim through coins. That was the most unbelievable
but
show
like-
about the talking ducks.
Wouldn't that? Well, but wouldn't it give you paper cuts?
I mean, listen,
I mean, doesn't it give us paper cuts?
no, because it's got cloth woven into it. It's soft.
Oh.
Anyway, not really the point. So we do these commercials, and they actually exist and are for real products, and we actually get paid. Bang, I hit the microphone. Whoops. This week, Gory Story Time is brought to you by Crime Scene Wallpaper. Perfect for fans of serial killers, horror movies, Jackson Pollock, or if you just love Halloween. Crime Scene Wallpaper is detailed and very accurate. You can choose between freshly dispatched bright red or month-old murder reddish brown. Make your living room look like a kill room with Crime Scene Wallpaper, available wherever adult-oriented wallpaper is sold.
All right. And by Moser and Morgan Frozen Meat. For over 15 years, our family-owned and operated company has worked hard to bring personal service and delicious meats to homes across America. While our company has grown, how we go about our work hasn't changed. From veal chops to chicken cutlets, sliced bacon to blade steaks, browse our wide variety and shop on our app. Then stock up on the frozen meat you want, and we'll deliver it to you. Moser and Morgan, a cut above the rest.
Absolutely. All right. So, anything else you want to say about the plot of this? Well, since it's for the whole season, the overarching story is there's a guy that is killing hookers originally.
Yes.
Mostly.
Mostly.
And cutting them up into pieces and leaving them with no blood.
No blood.
And they figure out that he's using a refrigerated truck, so they call him the ice truck killer. So This is basically a season with Dexter doing his own side murders and helping find this serial killer.
Absolutely.
And for those who haven't seen it, we're going to be spoiling who the killer is. So, actually, I already did.
Yes, we did.
So, go back and unhear that.
Indeed.
Anyway, so now some behind-the-scenes information.
Most of Dexter's lines are taken word for word from the original novel, Darkly Dreaming Dexter.
In the voiceover in the first episode. Dexter has books titled Power Builder 6, Internet Information Server 4, HTML 4, and Outlook 98 on his bookshelf. Mm-hmm. He's a computer nerd, is basically what it's saying.
Michael Donovan, Dexter's first victim of the series, goes by Father Donovan in the novel.
Yeah, he was an actual priest in the first one, or in the
Nice.
book. In the scene where Norberto Cervantes is shanked in prison, when the assassin disguised as a cop drops the weapon onto the floor, it's completely clean of blood. But that weapon was used to repeatedly stab Cervantes.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't
That
be
was a
clean of
mistake
blood.
then.
What?
So that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. At the services for the slain officer, Deb thanks Dexter for coming, saying, "I'm proud of you for coming, bro. I know how you hate funerals." Previous to this series, Michael C. Hall played a funeral director in 6 Feet Under.
See. Denise Crosby, who plays the nurse taking care of James Remar, or Dexter's dad, adopted dad, had previously starred with him in the movie 48 Hours from 1982.
Dexter refers to finding the body within the hockey arena as a real miracle on ice. Miracle on Ice is the nickname given to the 1980 Olympic hockey game between the United States and Soviet Union. Team USSR was heavily favored to win, but Team USA pulled off the astonishing victory and eventually went to win the gold medal.
The fourth episode, titled "Let's Give the Boy a Hand," is the only episode of the series without Masuka, C.S. Lee.
Whoa. When vetting the scrapyard owner / immigrant smuggler, Dexter tells him that he owns a 32-foot concept in hopes of steering the conversation toward boating. Dexter's real boat is a 29-foot center console made by Century Boats.
Dexter's fake DEA license to obtain the obtain the M99 atropine hydrochloride animal tranquilizer is registered to Bateman, Patrick, MD of Fort Lauderdale. Patrick Bateman is the main character of American Psycho, which we've reviewed on this show, and as Dexter is also a serial killer. Or is he? But that's a spoiler for a different thing.
While searching for Neil Perry, an ice truck killer suspect, Deborah and Angel catch him in room 20 of the Pink Motel. In the first episode of season 8, while Dexter is searching for Deborah, he finds her in room 6 of the Pink Motel. Okay.
During most of the interrogation scenes with Neil Perry, the camera angle is slightly askew. This represents Dexter's suspicion that he's not the real ice truck killer. And it's also possibly a reference to Natural Born Killers from 1994, in which there are no straight camera angles through the entire movie.
Tony Goldwyn, who plays Dr. Meridian, also directed the episode He Dies, as well as 3 others.
He was the guy that was the jerk in Ghost.
Yeah.
He's been in a few things. He was in Belko Experiment, which we reviewed on this show.
Yes.
Let's see. Dexter strangles Dr. Meridian with a Brazilian jiu-jitsu move known as Lion Killer.
When Dexter and Rudy are packing up the house Dexter's biological father left him, they are each packing in the way they dispose of bodies. Dexter is putting items in plastic bags and duct taping them. Rudy is wrapping things nicely with string.
The beer Dexter drinks is called Jekyll Island, as a reference to Jekyll and Hyde, because on the outside people think he's a Dr. Jekyll type, but when he's killing people, he's more of a Hyde guy.
Yes.
See?
Nina expresses her disgust at Angel when she finds him about to eat 2 Double Meat Hamburgers. The Double Meat Palace is the fictitious fast food restaurant suspected of serving ground-up human murder victims in Buffy the Vampire Slayer from 97, where Drew Z. Greenberg, who wrote this episode, also worked as a staff writer.
So he referenced his old job in it. Episode 11, titled Truth Be Told, is the first episode that Dexter uses the phrase dark passenger, which he then uses throughout the rest of the series to refer to his urge to kill.
Yes. According to the flashbacks, Rudy/Brian is supposed to be 4 years older than Dexter. In real life, Christian Camargo, Rudy, is actually 4 months younger than Michael C. Hall.
Contrary to how Brian is killed by Dexter, the novel has LaGuerta confronting Dexter and Brian in the shipping container, ultimately ending with Brian shooting LaGuerta and being allowed to escape by Dexter. And unlike later in the TV series, Deb shows little to no pity for her death. Spoiler for future seasons.
Huh.
All right. Now, there's a lot of ways we could do our favorite and least favorite because it's a TV
before we
series.
do that at all, Rotten Tomatoes is a website that we go to, and we see the numbers that they assign to the places.
Okay, why don't you explain that one too? You hear me do it every week.
I do. So Rotten Tomatoes is a website in which they take a bunch of critics' reviews.
All the official ones that they accept.
Right. And they do a percent of how many are positive. And that is the number that they give to the show, and then they also have a section for the fans to do the same.
Yeah, so when they say something's, at 60%, they're not saying it's a 60% movie. They're saying 60% of reviewers or people, depending on which number you're looking at,
said it was good.
Gave it a positive review.
Yes. This show, first season, the critics had it rated 82%.
And the people have it at 96. So if you haven't seen this, even the critics who are usually rougher on horror would tell you, go ahead and watch this. Because it's fresh at, 63, 64?
I think 60 is the cutoff.
Well, early.
Fresh, but yeah.
But whatever. My point being,
yeah,
in the 80s, in the high 90s, means watch this.
It's a good one.
But, all right, now. What in each series, depending on what we're reviewing, it's going to be a little different. We could do our favorite and least favorite episode, whatever. But what was your favorite or least favorite? Which one do you want to go with first?
Least favorite, I guess.
Least favorite character from season 1. LaGuerta? Yeah. I mean,
you said it best at the very beginning of the episode. She's kind of just a bitch.
Yeah, she gets to be more in depth of a character later on.
But season 1, she's just mean for the sake of being the mean boss.
Yeah, and everything's about her and her politics. Like for her job, not like politics, but like workplace politics. Because
heck, they made Brian more of a character.
Yeah. I'm going to say my least favorite character is probably Angel's wife.
Okay.
Because she's also, he did make a mistake and he deserved some of it, but some of the things she did were just
stopping him from seeing his kid for so long.
Yeah, there was... he cheated on her, and that was wrong, and I understand the divorce. I don't understand that keeping him from his kid.
Right.
See, because how do you pick a favorite scene from... you can, but, there's so many great scenes. So I figured characters, because there's 12 episodes. That's a lot of scenes.
All right.
And I'll come up with something different for each one.
So then favorite character?
For each one, it'll be something different.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Who's your... the obvious answer is Dexter.
Right. But if we're going with supporting character,
let's
feels
do
better to do that.
Favorite supporting character. That's a good idea.
Weirdly, it's a toss-up for me between Rita and Dokes.
Well, I think both of them play a very important part in the overall story. So, like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work without them.
It wouldn't work
So
without
you're
either
just
of them.
nitpicking then, basically.
I really am.
Because you're not even saying you don't like them. You're just saying if you had to rank all the characters.
Right.
Okay, I get that. But which
I
one are you
mean-
going to go with? Pick one.
I'm going to go with Rita. Because...
Yeah, because Dokes is too important to the first 2 seasons.
He is.
I mean, so is Rita, though. I would say
No, favorite.
Yeah. Oh, favorite. I thought you were saying...
Rita.
Yes, never mind. Yeah, they're both super important to both...
I mean, it was still kind of nitpicky for me to choose LaGuardia because it's like, without her, season 1 wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, I was remembering what we were doing wrong because I'm
wrong. You're bad.
I haven't get a lot of sleep lately. People have been making me get up at 5 a.m. Anyway, as if that's why I woke up at 3:30 the night
Like
before.
every day, right?
But anyway, all right. So my favorite character, other than Dexter, obviously, like I would love to say it's his brother, but it's
But it's not.
I'm gonna say it's his father because it was his father's guiding rules that make it so that we can actually root for him as a serial killer.
Yeah, because it's that code.
Those rules are
it's that very
so important.
solid code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So that's reasonable.
On a scale of 1 to 10 for the entire
Just
first season,
Season 1.
don't let bad seasons later on
No,
that happen
no.
in a lot of shows affect it, you know?
I have seen a bunch of this show and haven't gotten to one.
You know how that does happen.
I do
though.
know how that happens, though. And I'm probably going to give this show a 9, 9.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 9 myself. I love this show.
Like, the only reason I
I
say
love
not
this show.
10 is because there's future seasons I've seen that are better.
That says something because this is a great season. It's a good way to kick off a show. They replayed it on CBS a couple years later, edited for swearing and any nudity. And they basically left in all the blood because it's not much worse than CSI, especially since the main killer doesn't leave blood. And then it's like blood spatter patterns that they use in all those cop shows anyway. So yeah, I'm going with 9 myself.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we...
I mean, I know it's an old show at this point.
2006,
So it's 16 years old, I think,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, you should definitely go and get yourself a way to watch this if it's anything
it
you're
streams
interested
on
in.
wherever Showtime streams their stuff, I think.
It's currently available on Prime.
Okay.
If you've got that.
It's
Not a
on,
plug, but it's there.
Like, it's not on like Hulu or Netflix or any of the other main ones. Okay, I didn't know. But anyway, let's read the stuff off to the side and
Yes. You can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
you can like us on Facebook. And when I say us, I mean you can like Gory Storytime. There's
Yes.
been a bunch of activity on that page lately. I've been telling you, it's like I get
100
multiple.
and something
We're
people,
at 170 something people that have liked the page at least.
which is
Great.
big number for us.
I mean, considering like it's probably 80 in the last month and a half.
Let's
Yeah.
keep up the good work, viewers.
Yeah, definitely. Share it. Like, if people like it, that's awesome. Anyway, but you could also like Fact TV. They have a page, so
They
click,
do.
click.
They go live, and you might be watching it live.
Yes.
You can go to fact8.com and watch a bunch of the back episodes of this, a bunch of the other programming that they've got to offer. They have tons of programming for such a small town.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a community television the way
I mean,
it
obviously,
should be.
we are the best
Oh, wow.
programming that they have, but
Sure. Let's see. Also, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all lowercase, all one word.
I'm at Jiggly Firm Brain.
And I say everything he writes.
Yes.
It's literally just he hears me say something, finds it funny, and tweets it out. So if you want to hear the uncensored nonsense that comes in through my brain,
And this week, I can actually say there are tweets up there that have to do with what we just reviewed.
That's true. That is true.
That's
it doesn't,
true. So
we don't usually tweet about the show, but there were comments I made while watching.
yes. So
All right. And also check out my YouTube channel, Juggalo Jakes. But if you type in Gory Storytime, you
It'll
can
pop
find my page and Fact TV's page. They've got episodes that I don't. I have episodes they don't. They're not all up there, but like there's a bunch.
Indeed.
You can do a deep dive on us telling you what we think about horror.
Yeah. I've heard it's enjoyable.
I mean, and then we've got our 100th episode and 200th episode specials, which are both, got sketches and music videos and all sorts of cool stuff.
Yes. So until next time with another show, I've been your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig, and
Sweet dreams.